intentional creation is all about being very mindful whenever we're communicating with both our psychology as well as with others and our energy to be able to attract whatever we're going for in life. So in this concept, we're going to really focus on money, but it also works with love. It works with friendships, being able to have new experiences in education or, traveling. So it's all about drawing in the exact thing that we want. And with that, we do have some learning objectives in this lesson. It's going to be about how we understand our power, our subconscious, when it comes to our beliefs and our behaviors. I guarantee you that there's probably about 10 of us in the room right now, not including myself. And if I was to go down with each and every single one of you all and be like, hey, what is your belief about money? Do you think you deserve money? Do you feel like it's scarce? Do you feel like you have plenty of it? Every single one of us is going to have a different money story. So we're going to dive into what it means to have that relationship and those beliefs. We're going to explore the subconscious, how it influences our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions when it comes to abundance. And then finally, we're going to discover some methods to be able to interrupt some of the negative programming that we've developed about our relationship with abundance and money itself. So diving straight in, I'm going to say this probably 20 times tonight, and that's perfectly okay. So your why is going to be everything. And this is going way beyond just what's in your bank account. This goes into whatever you're trying to create. So I know a few of the people in the room. Some of us are trying to create businesses. Some of us are trying to create healthier relationships. Some of us are trying to create, college education and to figure out what we want to do in life. And all of these things do have these belief systems about them. They do have these pre-programs that our subconscious is keeping us from being able to get our dream, be able to attract our goal. So last night we saw that equation of the polarity and the manifestation. It will get brought up again tonight. And if you need to pull it back up from last night, feel free. But it's all about taking that part of the equation of the resistance and lowering it, and then increasing that desire and increasing the allowing. The why is going to really help with increasing the allowing, even if you're one of the most skeptical people in the world, which I'll raise my hand to that because I can definitely be a good skeptic. So for me to be able to say, okay, we can reprogram our subconscious, even if we are negative already about something, is going to really help escalate or bring forth that manifestation, that goal. So becoming best friends with your subconscious is probably one of the things I tell a lot of my clients and all of my best friends in, this realm. The subconscious, it's really here to help us out. I know that many of us are like, okay, what does the subconscious even mean? The subconscious is what's going to bring forth all of the perceptions that you have whenever you're walking through life, taking all of that content, taking all of the messages, and deciding what to do with them. So if you are walking down the streets, you don't actually pay attention to every single thing that's happening around you. If you did, you'd probably go absolutely crazy and you wouldn't be able to actually go throughout your day because you'll be paying attention to all of the birds and all of the cracks in the sidewalk and all the colors and all the noises, and you're just gonna be very overwhelmed. So what your subconscious does is it takes all of this information and it does one thing for you. It says, what is the most important thing to help this person be able to survive? And what happens next is your subconscious has a memory and it wants to make sure that you keep surviving as long as you possibly can until it's your time to leave this world. And in that moment, it's developing these beliefs. And these beliefs are what's going to drive your behavior. So whenever we decide that we want to make our subconscious our best friend, what we're doing is basically saying, yes, I understand that there's a couple of things in this world that make me scared or make me nervous or give me depression or anxiety. But when we become best friends with our subconscious, what we allow is to say, okay, yes, maybe I am afraid of this, but it's actually not something I need to be afraid of, like opening a new business or starting something new. And I can recognize that you're trying to protect me, but just like a best friend, I register that. I understand that, but I know that I need to do this anyways. So it's a very loving relationship when we get to align that energy. And that's actually how we start to move that pendulum forward towards our goals. And then finally, I'm going to say something, and at this time, it might not completely resonate, but I'm hoping by the time we get through the entire night, you start to really click with this because I want to make you limitless. I want you to be able to achieve anything your heart's desire is. And truth be told, as far as spirituality goes, if you just declare what you want, it will become yours. And if we were in a law of the universe or law of attraction pure world, then it would be instant. But in this world, we have something called time. And I'm actually very thankful that we have time. Because if you've ever been in a situation where you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't have wanted that. That wasn't the best thing for me in the end. Like maybe like a former lover, or maybe like something that you wanted that you're like, ooh, that looks good in the store, but doesn't look so good when I got home. Having this concept of time allows us to really fine tune what we truly do want for ourselves. So we got to be thankful for that. And that's called an agreement whenever we're talking about spirituality. So you have the law of attraction, which is instant. You declare what you want and it's yours. This could be a prayer. It could be a meditational mantra, whatever your specialty as far as what you believe in. It's all the same thing. It's just different labels for it. But since we have this concept of time, it really be able to slow us down a little bit and bring us more to center, make sure that our prayers aren't instantly answered because it's not always what's best for us. So this is where resistance also comes into play. And maybe a little bit of resistance is good for us because it does, again, fine tune us towards getting our goals and making sure what's best for us. And whether you believe in the universe, you believe in God, you believe in just yourself, this concept altogether is really working in your favor. So we're going to explore this why. And this is where I get to bring up this polarity manifestation equation. I highly encourage you, again, it's already in your notes. We've already given it to you, but feel free to screenshot this because this is the bread and butter of everything we're talking about throughout the entire masterclass. So going into that resistance, that's the time, but that's also those negative thoughts that we saw yesterday, the self-rejection, the fear. Resistance is also your subconscious in a way, because your subconscious wants to help you survive. It wants to make sure that you're making the best decisions for yourself. Versus the allowing aspect is what's bringing in the ability to be like, hey, subconscious, you're my best friend. I understand you're here to protect me, but I accept whatever's going to happen next. I'm detaching away from the expectation. I'm making sure that I'm in resonance and that this is actually the goal that I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to bring in this type of money. I'm trying to bring in these type of people into my life. I'm trying to bring in better health. Whatever it is, that's going to be that protection of allowing. And then, of course, like all of us, we do have desires, which is that first part of the equation. That's just deciding what you want and going for it. So we've seen this, so I'm not going to go any further into this one. But I do want to start us actually with an exercise tonight. And it's one of my favorite things to do because it gets really clear when it comes to our subconscious as well as our spiritual frequency on what we're trying to bring into our life. Yesterday, I mentioned that we are not supposed to chase anything. And if you have to chase something, if you need to go after something, I want you to chase joy. Because joy and that emotional mindset with that subconscious is what's going to bring forth all of your goals. We're going to bring through all of your attractions, all of your manifestations. And the reason being is if you can keep your subconscious feeling safe, feeling nurtured, that means that you're getting rid of that fear. And if you're getting rid of that fear, you lower that resistance and you move towards your goals. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. I'm hoping that everybody has a piece of paper, a notepad, and a pen with them. If not, hustle and get it real quick. And I'm going to keep talking for just a moment on this concept. So these words that you see under intentional creation, this is something I do every single time I have a new desire. So remember, desire is that first part of the equation. And even if I don't exactly know how to bring this desire into my life, this is what I'm starting with to get really clear on my why. Because why is going to lower the resistance. Why is going to make us closer to getting to our goal. So intentional creation is a little bit of a visual exercise, but it's also a writing exercise. So I want you guys to go ahead and either screenshot or jot this down in these words. So the I intend to, the I expect to, and then so forth. And I want you to choose any goal that's on your mind. It could be that new business. It could be something about a relationship. It could be a prayer that you've been having on your mind, whatever it may be. And I want you to start getting very clear on your why. So I'm going to give us about 3 minutes on this. And I am somebody that walks the talk and talks the walk as well. So I'm actually going to jot down mine, and then I'll share with mine, or somebody else can share what their why was. And we're going to get really nitty gritty on what this looks like. So right now we are perfectly on time. So it is 7:30. I'm going to give us 3 minutes on this, and then we'll get someone to be brave and share their why. And if you want, feel free to put it in the chat too. All right. So it's been about 3 minutes. Do we have a brave volunteer that will share what their creation was?
I will.
Yeah, Janelle's our vocalist.
Imagine that.
I love it. So the first thing I want to ask you, Janelle, is how did you feel as you were filling this out?
Kind of anxious, actually.
Okay. So
Mhm.
let's walk through that because that anxiety is actually very common. And I love that you were vulnerable and you were able to share that
Yeah.
because when you talk about your why behind something, it brings forth an emotion. And yesterday we learned about the subconscious and a little bit of the background, this neuroanatomy, if you will.
Yeah.
And the neuroanatomy of the subconscious is it doesn't know how to communicate with you in words. It doesn't know English, it doesn't know Spanish, it doesn't know how to use language. It only knows feelings. And so that resistance comes from the feelings. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and share. What was your goal?
Should I you just want me to read what I wrote?
Um, yeah, let's go ahead with I intend to.
Okay.
What was your into that?
I, this is just what came out. I intend to succeed. I expect to receive full restoration. No matter who I am with, I will not lower my standards. No
Mm,
matter who I am talking with, I will be brave. No matter where I'm at, I will be me. No matter how it happens, I will remain joyful. And I intend to do my best, for I am now free.
mm, that was beautiful, Janelle. Thank you.
And that made me anxious.
What was your hesitancy in that? Your intention was I intend to be successful.
Yeah.
Is that how you said it? I intend to be successful or I intend to be
I
successful?
intend to succeed.
Intend to succeed.
Mhm.
Okay. At what point, whenever you were going down this, did you feel the anxiety?
Right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning. So, can we play on the playground and be safe? Can we all agree that this is a safe space?
Yes.
Okay. So, one concept we learned yesterday was when we are speaking about our I am or what we're trying to attract, what we're trying to become, we do
Mhm.
always talk about it in its present tense. You are already successful. And so
Mhm.
I want to kind of start rewiring the programming of your subconscious with you. And when we're writing out these different intentions, and I guarantee you, Janelle, if I was to go ask every single one of us on the phone call,
Mhm.
people wrote similar to you. They said, I intend to succeed, or they might say, I intend to be successful. These are either the past or the future instead of the present moment.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, everyone else probably wrote something similar or is going to tweak theirs as well as we go along. But I want everyone to take a moment and just scan through their list and see, is there anything that I wrote that sounds like it came from the past or it sounds like it's coming in the future, like it hasn't arrived yet? And the way I would rewrite the I intend to for you, Janelle, was I would rewrite it as I intend to continue succeeding in life.
Okay.
So I intend to continue succeeding in life because you've already been succeeding. I guarantee you because you're alive and that is
Right.
success, right? So you've already proven to yourself and your subconscious over and over and over and your spiritual nature that you're succeeding.
Yeah.
So everyone in the group, I want you guys to just scan through everything, make sure that everything is in the current tense. And I'm going to give you 1 minute for that, and then I'm going to add another layer here. Okay. So I am going to bring in the second layer, and this is where we could be a little bit nerdy. This is where the psychotherapy in me comes out, and the hard science comes again. And I'm going to introduce a new concept. The subconscious when you look at how we process information through what's called brain mapping, does not know how to process the word no. Your subconscious only knows how to process positive information. And again, it doesn't know language. So all it knows is positive emotions or non-positive emotions. It doesn't know the negatives. So it doesn't know that sad is bad or that no means quote unquote no, for lack of a better way to say that. So I want you guys to scan through your list again, and I want you to see if you used any negative connotation words or if you use the word no in any of the phrases. And if someone could be brave for me again, if they had a phrase that had no in it or had a negative connotation in it, please say that to me, and I would love to rewrite that with you. All right. So since no one spoke up, I'm going to assume that nobody had the word no or any negative words in their list, which is fantastic. That means that we're actually one step closer, and I love that for us. So I'm going to introduce the last little rule of the subconscious here. And this one is something that we touched on a little bit last night, and we're going to touch on a little bit in the neuroanatomy video here in a moment. But our subconscious does not recognize that anyone else in the entire planet exists. And whenever you are thinking about your soul or your spirit and you are sitting with yourself, it does not register that there is any other people on the planet. It doesn't register that there's any other animals on the planet. It doesn't even register plants or insects, anything else. Your subconscious only believes in you. So with that information, I want us to look down our list one more time and see, is there any place where I mention other people, other animals, even bacteria, any plants, even God or celestial beings like angels, demons, anything like that? And if there's any reference to somebody else or something else, I want us to rewrite that sentence to where it only has to do with ourselves. And again, if anyone wants a little bit of help on that, I'd love to rewrite it with you. All right, fantastic. Again, nobody spoke up, so I'm assuming that you guys got it down pat, or that you maybe need a little bit more time and you want to revisit this later. Again, feel free to screenshot this. You guys are all going to get the recordings later, so no harm, no foul. The reason I wanted to bring up the subconscious early on is we're going to take a lot of accountability in these next two lessons, especially about the accountability with money that's coming up at the end. And so when we start working with money and we start working with our goals, we really have to remember the spirit and the subconscious towards attracting, because we're not chasing anything. So moving forward here. There we go. Once again, we only chase joy. So rewiring the emotion is going to be our goals here. Remember, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So whatever you're feeding your subconscious through those three rules, and making it the best friend, knowing that it doesn't process negatives, knowing that it's only trying to help you survive. It's what's going to actually start switching the direction of your life. Another key aspect of chasing joy that I want to put in your toolbox is something called the positive aspect direction switch. That is a very, very fancy science term theory that basically means that when you find yourself in a negative situation, maybe you just got in a fight with somebody, maybe you are at work and you're just feeling super frustrated at, maybe you don't feel like you're making enough money, or the customers have not been, the most delightful. Maybe it's something with your family. It's like family drama or a relationship type of drama. Anytime you find yourself in a situation that you're like, this is not working out for me, I want you to remember the subconscious feels threatened at this point. And if you feel threatened, you're resisting your goal. So I always have this little bitty notebook with me, or even like I'll write something on my hand. And whenever I'm in a situation that I'm not enjoying, I will pick out something that I like that's surrounding me. Because remember a few slides ago, the subconscious is processing all of this information and it's choosing what's most important. So the positive aspect direction switch is a way to kind of quote unquote trick. I don't love that terminology since we are making our subconscious our best friend, but kind of just for a moment saying like, hey, squirrel, and rewiring everything. That way we can actually start to achieve our goal, which in this case, it might be how to end that fight quicker, or it might be how to get brave enough to ask for that raise, or how to reset the tone whenever you're working with customers. So the positive aspect direction switch, as far as like an example, I will say, let's say this happened to me a few weeks ago. I was in the airport and there was a huge snowstorm a few weeks ago, and it really shut down all of the flights that were going in and out. And when that happened, of course, I was actually trying to get to Dallas from Miami, and everything shut down and everything got chaotic. And I was upset, right? I was like, I did not want to miss that conference. And immediately I was like, this isn't helping me. This isn't making me feel my best self. My goal is to get to Dallas, but I'm in such a frenzy with myself and my emotions. And I feel so much fear because I don't know where I'm going to go tonight with this plane being, canceled. I had to sit down for a moment in the airport and be like, okay, what is it that I like about this situation? What is it that I like about being exactly here in this present moment? And what I was able to identify is, okay, well, now I don't have to worry about, being caught up in the snowstorm. I don't like to be in the cold, guys. There's a reason I love living in Miami. So, okay, this means I don't have to be cold in Dallas because it was snowing in Dallas. And this means that I can go and actually see one of my girlfriends or one of my friends in Miami for the night, which means I get to go and like explore and have some fun. And when I switch that positive aspect of the direction, I realized I was like, it's not that big of a deal that I'm in this current situation. And it actually gives me a lot of different opportunities. So I was able to book a plane ticket as a rescheduling that didn't require me to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day. And that was delightful. And these are the type of things that get you to your goals quicker because you're getting out of the way of your emotions. You're rewiring yourself. Now, before we get into the subconscious video, I want to highlight a couple of the resources that you're going to get. The podcast episodes, they're already available to you. If you want, jot these down. These have a lot to do with the intentional creation that we saw earlier. And I also have one that's called the visualization workshop. These are completely for you. And then there's also the checkbook manifestation that I'm going to have as our next exercise in our last lesson. And that one's actually something that has really changed the game in my life when it comes to my relationship with money. And then for those people that are readers out there, we're going to have the ebook that gets given to you at the end of tomorrow night's class. And that gets into all of the science again, and all the subconscious and all the spirituality when it comes to everything we're talking about. Because I've actually read 30 different books, not including all of the education I've been able to experience through my undergrad and my graduate career.